I guess I can. Um, and I was gonna do another one today, but then I remember science and religion, so. Do you remember, I don't know, was it before COVID that you guys did the, science and religion with Jen? Remember that? We talked about the extinction, and things like that. I remember that. Seems like it's been a lot. So I think you know this story. But the adults, guess what? They didn't have a chance to have such a conversation about science and culture. So we're gonna see the story of creation from this. So in the beginning, there was, this story starts to say, there was nothing except maybe enormous smile. And God created light. All light. Not just the light in this room, or the light you can turn on with a switch, but light. When I say light, I mean all light, and all there is in light that makes it light. And God said, on the second day, God gave us the gift of water. Not just the water that comes from the sink or water in your water bottle, the water that comes from the sky, but water, all water, and everything that's in water that makes it water. And God said, it is good. On the third day, God gave us the gift of land and drive in and breathe from all of the from. And God said, it is good. On the fourth day, God gave us the gift of the great light of the day and the great lights of the night. And God said, they are good. Fifth day, God gave us the gift of the fish of the sea and the birds of the air. And God said, there. On the sixth day, God gave us the gift of the animals that walk on the land, animals and people. And God said, they are good. And on the seventh day, God gave us the gift of rest to enjoy all the gifts of God. So my first question for you is, what is missing from this? Things combined a little bit. You think this is the way it's happening?
Fish would go, um, the fish would
The fish become, you want to rearrange it?
and the birds go eat one step.
The fish and the animals may be much that.
Fish have animals. So why does fish? If just form the light, why does she then do one step other than?
Other lights. There's all the light on the first day. Why do we have other lights here?
Can I join the conversation?
You sure can.
Yeah, it didn't happen in 7 days.
You don't think it happens? I don't think so. I just.
A bit smaller.
A little bit longer.
It started with a bunch of floating dust particles and, with the Big Bang.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, and then after a long time, it was mostly a rock with on it and no hospitable life. So if we space this out for billions and billions of years, it would be correct. Also, the light.
Yeah.
Happened when the sun formed, because that's how we get our light.
Right.
The light in the lamp,
The other light is.
that's electricity.
That's
That was Thomas Edison. Years
later. Much later, separate. There's lots of problems. If this story like it's happening actually. We know that, and we know that for sure, right?
That was the light, and then more.
Right, all light and more light and animals that are separate.
That was actually partially correct.
So now my question,
And then, because there was light,
so what did we do with this story? Yeah. Like, you just not tell them?
well, you should tell it, but explain that it is very much a metaphor, it did not happen.
It's a metaphor and they have lots of things that are that like, lots of them. Like the parables from last week, they're kind of that, like, so what should we take?
That there are fish and birds and light.
There's lots of things in the world and maybe I was thinking there's a lot of like gifts, a lot of stuff we should be grateful for and maybe not.
I personally would interpret it as the ancient people didn't know how to explain evolution, so they decided
It's
to
true.
it's God.
They
I don't
didn't
know
know how
why
to
it's
explain.
7 days or this order, but they didn't really know how to explain how the universe came to be. And so like the Greeks had the gods of the Greek pantheon, and the Christians had our God. And they were confused and scared probably, so they decided to make up a story about it, and now we're trying to interpret it when there's not really anything to interpret except fear and uncertainty.
I don't see.
They were scared because they didn't know how it happened.
Oh, so they made this story to reassure themselves.
Most of the religions.
Okay.
Which is why it doesn't really make sense to try to interpret it, because there's not really.
So that- It's a metaphor.
Not really, they just wanted to reassure themselves, so they're scared of things.
So they would be scared. Do you think that, okay, now the question is, do you think that our understanding of the Big Bang might change? So like maybe when you're like,
It's a theory, but it's a very prominent theory that has a lot of,
evidences that we have right now.
yeah, I mean, we can't prove it 100%, but
So it might evolve.
sure. I say it has more scientific backing than this story.
I think that everyone in this room would agree with you. Do you think?
Yeah.
We'll see what the next one is.